It's a Sunday morning. For this video I am at the bottom of Church Street East in the heart of Old Sunderland, and if you look up to the top there you'll see Sunderland Parish Church, also known as Holy Trinity, and now 1719. There's Cheers. I think that might be the only one or two public houses on High Street. This is High Street East, once the main street, Old Sunderland, stretched from the bottom of High Street West at the top all the way down to the docks. I'm just going to have a look down to the river because that's one of the most interesting parts of Old Sunderland. Most of High Street East has been demolished over the years. Lots of clearance in the 30s and 40s. Back in the day it was just called the High Street, or Sunderland High Street. As at that time Sunderland and Bishop Weymouth were two separate places. Sunderland grew up around two streets. This one is Low Street for obvious reasons. You have the High Street and the Low Street, two thoroughfares which ran from west to east. Seagulls are very noisy this morning. I think this bit's called Mark Quay or Corporation Quay. There's all along this river there. Each bit had a separate name for the quay. It doesn't look much now because there isn't much left, but this was once a thronging place with public houses, shops, with breweries. It is rather cold. Now it's a shame this bit has been closed off for years because it's Noble's Quay, this one. As you can see, you can't get right next to the riverside because the old railings are dangerous. It's a shame because it gives you some of the best views of the river. If you look up at the top, the Weymouth Bridge and the railway bridge next to it. There's a few fishing trawlers down there. Now it would be, if this is one area which could be done up. Could have some new railings along there, and it does give some of the best views of Sunderland. I'll put the camera above there so you can see where we are. There's the university built over there, the last centre, and a lot of the riverside over there is student accommodation. Part of that wall fell into the sea a few years ago actually. It's been fixed now. Absolutely freezing. There used to be lots of little lanes and alleyways which used to come down from the high street towards like the riverside. I know it's Sunday morning so it would be quiet, but even during the weekday this spot down here it's always quiet. So there's actually an old lane up there, alleyway. A blue plaque. That looks like, I don't know if who's been dumping rubbish down here or whether it's been done up inside and they're going to pick it later, but Customs House. Near this plaque stood the Elizabethan Customs House. It was demolished in 1935 when the Corporation Quay was built. Look at that. I think that's Clarendon in front of there. I think there is some build. I think there is one of these pubs is getting done up at the moment. Look at that. Oh. I bet this lane could tell some history. If walls could talk. That is Bull Lane. So there's not many of the older buildings left on High Street East. But there's one there. That's now a florist. And there's the Clarendon. Look at that, 1724. The pub history. The Clarendon is Sunderland's oldest pub, dates back to 1724. It has traded under several other names, including the Board, the Board and the Hare and Hounds. The Croft Fox, the Crown Inn and the Butcher's Arms. The cellar has a capped smuggler's tunnel and is next to Bull's Lane, one of Sunderland's oldest surviving alleys leading to the river Wear. Nowadays it is famous for its real ale and a vibrant local music scene. There you go. Bull Lane, a typical 18th century alleyway leading to Low Street in the quayside. Whilst many alterations have since taken place, the houses on either side date back to 1690. So this is basically where Sunderland grew up, along this river. I think it originated as a small village and expanded southwards up to the town moor. There's the Board Head. It's a bus stop to nowhere. No services currently use this stop, High Street East. At the top of here we've got the Port of Sunderland. And there's the Board's Head. Another lovely old building. This one's been done up a bit. Not like a restaurant. I think I've never been in. Give you a sense of how the High Street was before all of these buildings went all the way down, side by no gaps. Another blue plaque, Joseph Ray Hodgson, the Stormy Petrel. I've never heard of him. Born and raised in Sunderland, the Petrel, described as an everyday hero, was a brave and unselfish man who risked his own life to save others from numerous shipwrecks. Oh, that's a better view. I think this is probably the coldest day since last bloody winter. My gloves on and fingers are absolutely freezing. That's a good info board about life in the East End. Still quiet for a Sunday morning, and it's 8:05 in the morning. I'll just head up High Street East a little further. I think that's the site of where the Garths was, which I think were post-war houses, like flats built when lots of the previous slums were cleared. That's St John's. There used to be a St John's church because Sunderland only used to have Anglicans, the Holy Trinity. So another one was built to serve the population. That was similar to the Sunderland Parish Church in style, but that sadly got demolished. It's part of the port there. I think that might be Corporation Quay itself. But there's some lovely murals painted right along here. You can see it was quite a long high street. It came all the way down here. I've got an old Ordnance Survey map from I think about 1910 of the High Street East, and it has all the pubs listed. I think it was well over 50, just from the port right to the start of High Street West in Bishop Wearmouth. And up here used to be the barracks, like where different regiments took turns to stay here. I think it was built originally because of the threat of an invasion by Napoleon. And there were some guns down to protect the way in the town for their coal trade. So you used to get regiments from all over Great Britain and Ireland being dispatched here for periods. Most of them, you'd think they would get dropped off by boats back in the 1800s, but no, they had to march. You see some of their newspaper reports when it used to say the Westminster militia or somebody else was off to Liverpool, and they would literally have to march from Sunderland all the way to Liverpool. There was one regiment, it got dropped off at Hull, and then it had to march from Hull all the way to Sunderland, and it went across to York, up to Darlington, then to Sunderland. With the barracks, men had wives and children with them as well. There was housing accommodation, and you'll see in the records for the Sunderland Parish Church where it has mentioned soldiers who died, the wives, the children, and so on. It's quite a big building, the Boar's Head. I've never seen that on the back of it, and I think finish off, we'll go back down some steps down to the river. Looks rather steep. Wouldn't like to come down there on a winter's night or after a few drinks, so I think it's blocked off anyway. So I will finish on High Street up here. So you can imagine a Sunday in say about 1820 or so, you'd probably have some of the soldiers off to church. Be on various chapels, people going down to the river, with the people preparing the boats ready to set sail. Journeys all over the world. Would have been a bustling place, but It's very quiet. One of the reasons was the importance of Sunderland transferred across to Bishop Wearmouth, even though the whole area became known as Sunderland. Really, the centre became Bishop Wearmouth, and Sunderland became one of the poorest parts of the United Kingdom, particularly this area, the Old East End. It was one of the most destitute in the country. So I'll just leave you with that lovely shot of the River Wearmouth Bridge to the city centre of Sunderland. You can see in the distance a stadium light, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you.